Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Metalfoes deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Zach. And this deck is an extremely fun pendulum deck that I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell in there so you can come for our notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. And definitely give Zach some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Gold Driver. Gold Driver is definitely a 3-of in the build, and all of our Metalfoes monsters in the main deck actually share a common effect besides our copy of Vanisher, with the Pendulum ability that once per turn you can target one of their face-up card that you control, destroy it, and you set a Metalfoes spell or trap directly from your deck to your side of the field, which is an awesome ability to be able to use to get to our Metalfoes trap cards or our Metalfoes fusion spells. We then played 3 copies of Volflame. Volflame is definitely a 3-of in the build, because this card is actually a level 7, which helps out a lot in this deck. We then played 3 copies of Silverrod. Silverrod is really powerful in this deck as a 3-of as well, as it's super easy to summon out to our side of the field, especially since this card has 1700 attack. We then played 3 copies of Steelin. Steelin's really good in the build as well as a 3-of, just to basically have additional scales to be able to use to bring in our monsters to our side of the field. We then played 3 copies of Melcaster. Melcaster is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is amazing. With the ability that if this card is on the field, is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can actually add a face-up Metalfoes Pendulum monster from your X deck to your hand, except a copy of Melcaster. But you cannot activate it or cards with the same name to place it in the Pendulum Zone for the rest of the turn except by a card effect, which is totally fine. So basically just recovering a Metalfoes that we can use on the follow-up. We then play 3 copies of Bismugear. Bismugear is really good as a 3-of in the build, as this card helps us search out Metalfoes during the end phase, because if this card is in the field, it's destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can actually add a Metalfoes monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of this turn, which is a pretty cool ability to grab the exact card that you need. We then play 2 copies of Vanisher. Vanisher is a very unique card, and this card is very good in the deck as a 2-of, with the pendulum effect that if a monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually add a Metalfoes card from your graveyard to your hand, except a copy of Vanisher. And this card's monster effect is while this card is in your hand, you can actually target 2 face-up cards that you control, including a Metalfoes card, and destroy them, and you special summon this card from the hand. And if this card is special summoned by a card effect of a Metalfoes card, you can actually target a monster your opponent controls or in the graveyard and banish it, which is a great effect to help you just spot remove cards off the field or the graveyard with this card's effect. It helps out a lot as a 2-of because you can easily summon this card off your copy of Metalfoes counter, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Astrograph Sorcerer. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build because this card has the ability that if a card you control is destroyed by battle of a card effect, you can special summon this card in the hand, then choose a monster in the graveyard, X deck, or that's banished that was destroyed this turn, and add a monster with the same name from your deck to your hand, helping you grab an additional Metalfoes off this card's effect, which is so cool to instantly grab the exact card that you need off your copy of Astrograph Sorcerer. We then play 3 copies of Cashier Unicorn. Cashier Unicorn is really powerful as a tech card in this build and just absolutely amazing. This card has the ability, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card in the hand. During the main phase, you can add a Cashier spell from your deck to your hand, which is always going to be your copy of Cashier Birth. And also, when this card declares an attack or an opponent activates a monster effect, you can actually look at your opponent's X deck and you banish a monster from it face down, which is such a powerful ability to be able to use. But the reason we're playing this card in the deck is you can actually special summon this card out to your side of the field and then summon out a level 7 Metalfoes to your side of the field, or Pendulum summon out other monsters to your side of the field, and then step into a copy of Odd Eye's Absolute Dragon, and then step into a copy of Vortex Dragon. Or you can actually step into a copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac, generate 2 tokens on our side of the field, make 2 Link Spiders, then make G Golem, then you make your copy of Heat Soul on your side of the field, which helps you draw additional cards in the deck while also giving you 2 Link Zones, which is so cool. I love playing these cards in the deck because it makes it super easy to get additional level 7s on our side of the field, so we can just instantly go in for some awesome plays. But this card is really powerful in the deck. We then played 3 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. Fenrir is really good as a 3-of in the build as well, because it's very easy to summon this card out to your side of the field, and then search out an additional Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand, and also helps you spot remove cards off the field. This card is really good in the deck because you can easily search out your copy of Unicorn from your deck to your hand on this card's effect, and since all of our Metalfoes monsters have scales between 1 and 8, you can actually pendulum summon out your Kashtira monsters to your side of the field if you need to, which is insane to be able to do. And I absolutely love playing the Kashtira engine in this deck because it's so easy to bring out your monsters to your side of the field and use them as materials to step into on ice cards, which is really cool, or even step into your copy of Dracossack to be able to make your copy of your Heat Soul so you can get additional draws in this build. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is definitely a 1-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps when you're going in for all of your plays. And then a single copy of Metalfoes Fusion. Metalfoes Fusion is really good as a 1-of in the build, as this card is able to let you fusion summon a Metalfoes Fusion monster from your act check using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle it in the deck and then draw a card, which is a great ability to help you recycle this card. With my single copy of Full Metalfoes Fusion. Full Metalfoes Fusion is really good in the build as a 1-of because this card is actually a quick play spell that helps us fusion summon, so this card is definitely a 1-of in the build. With my single copy of Parametalfoes Fusion. Parametalfoes Fusion is a very, very powerful fusion spell on the deck, with the ability that you can actually fusion summon a Metalfoes Fusion monster from your act check using up to 1 monster from each your hand, field, and or face-up act check as a fusion material, helping you step into a fusion play, which is really cool. This card is definitely a 1-of in the build, just to help us step into additional fusion plays. Then I single copy of Kashtira Birth. Kashtira Birth is searchable off your copy of Unicorn, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the build, as this card easily helps us bring back our Kashtiras to our side of the field, and also has an insane ability that you can actually normal summon a level 7 monster without tributing, which can work for our copies of our Metalfoes monsters, which is really cool, that are level 7. This card also has an insane effect that during your main phase, you can actually special summon a non-XZ Kashtira monster that's banished from the graveyard back to your side of the field, helping you recover your copy of your Fenrir or your Unicorn back to your side of the field. And also, if your opponent activates a spell or effect and you control a Kashtira monster, you can actually target 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard and banish them face down, which is such a powerful ability. We then played 3 copies of Itelli. Itelli is really good as a 3-of in the build to instantly bring out one of our level 3 or lower psychic monsters to our side of the field, so you can basically use them for link plays, which is just really cool to be able to do, and it's amazing to be able to summon them out to our side of the field using Itelli. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 2, starting off with a single copy of Metalfoes Counter. Metalfoes Counter is really good as a 1-of in the build because this card has the ability, if a card you control is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can special summon a Metalfoes monster from your deck, which is a great effect to instantly bring out your copy of Vanisher using your copy of Counter. Also, during either player's turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can actually banish the card in the graveyard to add a face-up Metalfoes Pendulum monster from your act check to your hand, so you recover the exact card that you need. And my single copy of Combination. Combination is really good as a 1-of because this card has the ability once per turn, if a fusion monster is fusion summoned, you can actually target a Metalfoes monster in the grave with a lower level than that fusion monster and special summon it. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can actually add a Metalfoes monster from your deck to your hand, which is a pretty cool effect to instantly grab the exact card you need. So that's it for the traps, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Metalfoes. Metalfoes is a really good 2-of in the build, and this card helps out a lot dealing with your opponent's field. With the ability, you can actually target 2 Metalfoes cards in your graveyard and a card on the field, and shuffle the targets from the graveyard into the deck. And if you do, return the target on the field back to the hand. It's a really cool ability to basically use this card as a balance while also recovering your cards that you need. We can play a single copy of Orichalc. Orichalc is really good as a 1-of in the build, just to be going for game, as if a Metalfoes monster you control attacks a defensive monster, you inflict double piercing damage to your opponent, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it, which is a pretty cool effect. And play a single copy of Alcahest. Alcahest is one of my favorite cards in the entire extract, as this card has the ability that it just requires a Metalfoes monster plus a normal monster to make this card, and it must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. And once per turn, during your opponent's turn, you can actually target an effect monster on the field and equip it to this card, and this is a quick effect, and this card gains defense equal to the combined original attack of the monsters equipped to this card by its effect, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use. We can play a single copy of the Metalfoes Pendulum Monster. This card is really good to be able to summon out to her side of the field. This pair of Metalfoes monster is just actually insane. This does require a Metalfoes monster plus a fusion monster to make this card, which is actually very easy to do in this build. And if this card is special summoned from the extract, you can actually target 1 card your opponent controls and shuffle 2 face-up Pendulum monsters from your extract into the deck, and you destroy that card, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use. And if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your Pendulum zone, and it has a great pendulum effect that if a face-up Metalfoes card you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can actually target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. And lay a single copy of Odd-Eye's Vortex Dragon. Odd-Eye's Vortex Dragon is so easy to summon this build because we play the cast hero cards in this deck. So we basically step in our copy of Odd-Eye's Absolute Dragon extremely easily in this deck. So we can basically link it away and summon out a copy of Vortex Dragon to our side of the field, so we can actually establish a walking negate. Because our copy of Odd-Eye's Absolute Dragon has the ability, if it's sent to the graveyard, and actually special summon an Odd-Eye's monster from your extract for free, so we can summon out our copy of Vortex Dragon to our side of the field, giving us a walking negate. We can play a single copy of Dracossack. Dracossack's really good in the build as a 1-of just to generate us tokens on our side of the field, so we can use them to climb into a copy of Heat Soul, which is really good. We can play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code's really good to help us pop multiple cards on the field and go in for game. Plus it comes out absolutely massive. When I see a copy of Heat Soul, Heat Soul's crazy powerful in this deck and kind of goes with the theme of the deck as well, which is insane. But this card has insane arrows pointing 2 down, so we can actually basically pendulum summon to those zones from the extract. And also it gains 500 attack for each monster it points to, and quick effect, you can actually pay 1,000 life points to draw a card, which is a pretty cool ability to be able to use to instantly dig into the deck off this card's ability every single turn. We then made a single copy of SP. SP is great in the build as 1-of to basically just use this card as a double interruption. And then a single copy of IP. IP is just really good in the deck, so we play a lot of vanilla monsters in the deck, so we can summon our copy of SP during the opponent's turn. We made a single copy of G-Golem Crystal Heart. G-Golem is great because this card helps us bring back a Earthling monster from the graveyard, so we can actually bring back our copy of our Link Spiders, which we do play at 2 in the build, to basically just bring back our copies of Link Spider to our side of the field, so we can use our G-Golem and our Link Spider to step into our copy of Heat Soul, which is very good in this build. So all you have to do is make your copy of Dracossack, detach your material, summon out the 2 tokens, then summon out 2 Link Spiders using those 2 tokens on your side of the field, then use the 2 Link Spiders to summon a G-Golem. G-Golem will revive a Link Spider, then you use the copy of G-Golem and the Link Spider to make Heat Soul, so you can draw a card every single turn. Plus, you can easily climb into your copy of Access Code while having a copy of a Fire, a Water, and an Earth monster in the graveyard to give us a triple banish so we can go in for game. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun, and I absolutely love playing the cashier cards in this build. It's really insane how easy it is to be able to bring out your Metalfoes monsters, and this deck really does need an engine, which is why I absolutely love playing the cashier cards in this build, because they're so easy to summon, and it's insane to think about actually pendulum summoning cashier cards, but it does work and does come up in this deck. So, that's going to do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come for a notification squad. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.